All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. So today is going to be a little bit different. I don't have a lot to do in the garden today, so I figured I'd just do a little chat session, get to know me a little better. I guess we'll cover the garden stuff real quick here, and then we'll do some talking. So my roommate decided I couldn't keep Pepe or Protector Pete, so we had to get rid of him. And of course, as you can see, squirrels have come back. So I do have some stuff ordered. That's primarily why I'm not really going to do too much in the garden today. I was hoping they would be here by now, but even though it said next day, they are one part is 2 days away, and the other part should be here later today. I've ordered some diatomaceous earth because I have seen quite a few bugs in the pots, ants, etc., and they're getting on the plants. So I ordered some diatomaceous earth. We're going to be applying that. I'll probably do that. I'll probably do some when it gets here, and I'll save some for next Monday and the other stuff. I have some things coming to put on the ground. Hopefully that will keep the squirrels from getting up into the barrels and stop the destruction. So I do notice I got some of my plants are yellowing and the leaves are going. So I think part of that is because we've had so much rain the last few days that it's just swamping these barrels. I haven't actually watered them in like 2 weeks, so we'll see how that goes. The cucumber has absolutely gone nuts. I do have some flowers coming up. I also, right here, looks like a cucumber started. I was coming out to possibly do some pollinating if necessary, and we may do that just to cover that on here. I don't think I'm going to need it because we do have, some bees and whatnot in the area. Tomato wise, these Better Boys are doing pretty good here. I do have, see if I can see where one of them was, looked like, I think some of the cherry tomatoes were getting a little bit of color to them. I guess not. Maybe I was thinking about the wrong one. But anyways, so we've got quite a few tomatoes already. We've got 3 or 4 there. I may take that little one off and let those other ones grow bigger. I got a couple cherry tomatoes somewhere. Oh, actually, I'm not sure where those went to. Well, either way, we got a bunch of tomatoes growing. We got a couple peppers. The pepper plants are not doing so good. So there may be something with the soil, or it sometimes when you buy those starts from places like Costco, Home Depot, Lowe's, they don't do as well. This set of beans is doing pretty well. We got some nice dark green. The leaves are a little bit light, but they're doing much better than this patch. This one, I don't know what's going on with this. So I have the feeling it might be nitrogen, or it might need a little lime. I'm not sure which. But the new stuff is coming out nice and green, so I'm hoping maybe it was just too much water, again, with the water. But yeah, we've had quite a bit. Squashes are doing good. The peas are coming along pretty good too. And hopefully we'll have these lattice pieces filled up here soon with the things. Again, the beans are doing really good. They're actually climbing up this thing well. I'm glad to see that. You can see they're actually wrapping around here and holding on. Got this one just really snaked around there. That's good. It'll keep that nice and straight, less chance of that breaking. So looks like everything's going pretty good. I did have some comments on one of my posts about getting rid of the suckers off of the tomatoes. I'm not going to do that, and the reason is the suckers are where you get more fruit from. If I do pull a sucker off, I want to replant it, but I don't have enough space right now to replant. So yeah, I don't want to do that. I'd rather have the production, since Obviously, these are really small. And if things go well next year, I'll probably add a couple pots. Or excuse me, if things go well this year, I'll probably add a couple pots. And I don't know what that is on the screen. Let's just slide that over a little bit. There we go. So yeah, I'll add maybe a couple pots next year if things go fairly well. Again, this year I am just testing things. I am seeing what grows. I'm seeing how much I can put into a pot. I'm seeing how much I can get out of one pot, and you know how much, with everything being in there, we can get. The flowers are coming up pretty good. I'm going to let them grow a little bit bigger, and then they're kind of clumped together, so I'm going to spread them out. Same here. So I'll spread those out a little bit more in the pot once I want to let them get a little bigger. As far as the marigolds that I planted last week, as you can see, the water just kind of washed away a lot of the dirt, but it looks like we do have some plants coming up anyway. So I noticed the water coming through here, and it was just plowing right over the top of this and coming through and cutting down in. So what I need to do is eventually, when I can afford some more, I'm going to have to stack some bricks a little higher and kind of push the water more this way so it goes around the edge of that. So that's the next project, I think, after the stuff comes. I believe the stuff I have to put around the pots is coming Wednesday actually, not tomorrow, Wednesday. So once those get here, we'll do a video about that. Even if I have to put an extra video out, I'll do a video on that, what it is, how we're doing it, where it's going to go. Basically, I'm just going to try and keep them from jumping up into the pots. Hopefully deter them from getting in the pots. If I have to put some in the pots, I'm going to do that as well. But anyway, so I thought maybe I'd just talk a little bit about me, what my goals are and whatnot. I know I touched on it briefly in the first video. But I, had some stuff happen the last couple of weeks, and I figured I'd touch on it a little bit. So, I went to in March. I went to the doctor's. I thought it was just a cold. I kept having. I felt like I had a cold for like 2 weeks straight, and that was odd to me. So by the third week, I had a friend over, and he was going back, so things got worse. I went to work. I was actually feeling better. Went to work, and people at work came to work sick, as they do. So I dropped him off at the airport, and when I left him off, I went straight to the urgent care, and went in, and of course they did the chest x-ray, and they did all kinds of tests. Ended up I had type A flu, which seems to be the flu of the year. I'm 58 years old. I've never had the flu. Last year I did get COVID last year. So, God, I gotta stop saying that. So anyway, they did a chest x-ray to make sure I didn't have pneumonia, but I've had pneumonia in the past. I've had it a couple times actually. That was negative, but they did find something on my heart with my arteries. So this year, my doctors are in Florida. I'm in Georgia. So I go down to Florida once a year. My kids are also down in Florida, so I go to see them as well. So I kind of kill two birds, one stone. I get to see the kids, I get to see the grandbaby, and take care of my doctor's visits. So this year, I have a new physician. My physician that I had for 23 years, she retired. So I have a new physician. So I get to bring up all this stuff with them. and cover this, and we'll see where this goes. I'm hoping with this journey, I can improve my health and possibly, it's a possibility. It's a very slim possibility I can reverse the things that are going wrong. It is early on, I think, but again, I'll have to talk to my doctor about that. I do have some medical background, so I understand some of this. Good God, ants are crawling up my legs. So I do have some knowledge of it, but so that's something I've been dealing with for the last few weeks. The funny part was that the doctors never said anything when I was in the urgent care about it. So either it's not that bad, or they were just worried about treating what was going on with me at then. So I'll post more as I find stuff out and let you guys know what's going on. I don't think it's anything to worry about personally, but we all do that. We all end up being our own doctors in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, we'll cover that. I don't go till the middle of August. Again, I'm not too worried about it. I am doing some stuff to get a little healthier. I've been doing some fasting, which has, believe it or not, really helped. I've been able to drop 4 pounds as of today, and it's been staying off. So I'm going to keep doing that. That's kind of why I'm kind of like not doing too much today. The other reason, it's going to be 80 some odd degrees, which over you in Europe, it'll be like 31 degrees today. So it's going to be a warm one. I'm not afraid of that. It's just with everything going on, I think I'm just going to be a little more cautious than I normally am. Slow things down a little bit and see where we go. The other stresses that I've had is, like I talked about in my first video where, I kind of gave goals and stuff. So because I literally just got out of debt, like 100% out of debt. I literally had nothing, credit card wise, etc. Just before COVID. The sad part of that was that I left nothing in my savings, and so when COVID hit, the company I work for cut our hours, trying to protect our jobs, etc. is what they said. Have to go with that, but they cut our hours, and we ended up losing 10 hours was it 10 hours or 8 hours a week? I forget what it was. Anyway, so my check was a lot smaller. And then as that happened, I turned 55. Well, the quote you get when you do your insurances through your job, they say this is what your life insurance policy is going to be. You expect it to be that for the year, but because I turned 55, they increased my policy. I had taken out some loans because my credit cards had been built up, and I was trying to pay the credit cards off again. And anyways, push comes to shove, that's year after COVID. We'd been back to work for a few. A lot of things happened. I took out a loan based on what my pay was, and this was a year after COVID initially started. I took some money out to cover all the costs that had accrued because of COVID, and due to that, the credit cards built up, and because I ran out of options. I didn't have anything in savings because I just paid off all the credit cards and all the loans and everything that I had outstanding. So, anyway, like I based everything off of what I was getting in my checks and whatnot, and I took out a loan to pay those credit cards back off. Well, when they increased my life insurance, let's just say it was almost $200 gone out of my paycheck. So setback again. I didn't have enough money to cover bills. My paycheck literally went from almost $900 per check to $600 or $700, depending on, we get paid bi-monthly. So depending on where that was, my checks were a little smaller. So everything I did, paying off the credit cards, using the loan to pay them off with the lower interest rate to try and get things settled, was basically undone. So 2 years in a row, I got smacked. Back to the credit cards. To today, or last year, I should say. Last year, I was finally able to get one of those credit cards paid off. I had 4 credit cards out. I got one of them paid off. Unfortunately, I paid the wrong one off, if that really matters, but one was paid off. I paid one off. I had one due the first part of the month. I had one due. I paid that one off. The other 3 are due at the same time. What I should have done was pay, because the 2 of the credit cards were about the same. Should have paid the one off that had the 3 involved. It would have made it a lot easier. But hindsight 2020, I made that mistake. Push forward to today. I've been really pushing hard to get money into investments so that when I do go to retire, I'll have some stocks and whatnot to help pay for the make ends meet with Social Security, because we all know that's not going to pay much. So anyway, so I've been under a lot of stress because I've had these credit cards. I ended up taking out another loan with it, basically through my 401k, which means that the interest that I pay on that loan will be paid back to me. So I took that out, and I took out just enough when I should have known better and taken out a little bit extra to cover a couple incidentals that I knew were coming up. Didn't do that, made that mistake. But we were able to, we were able to get 2 of the credit cards paid down. I didn't pay any one of them off. I was going to, but then I was like, well, if I do that and I have these other 2 that are high payments every month, that's not going to be good. So I decided to pay 2 of them down. So they're around $100 a month payment. I do have enough in savings that I could take and pay one off and pretty much all of the other one off. But again, that will empty out my savings, and I don't really want to do that right yet. Previously in the other video, I talked about how I save money up and how I put money away to help pay for this stuff and whatnot. I did increase the amount of money going into savings. I had stopped it for a while, which was bad on my part because I could be further along had I done what I normally do. So basically, I increased my money going into savings by $200. So after every 2 paychecks, it will be a significant amount going into savings every month, but that leaves me only about $600 per check that I have to learn to live off. So when I got that first check last week, I didn't freak out, but it scared me a little bit because it was such a small amount. What I forgot to do was remember I had that money going into savings. If I need to, I can dip into that. But the whole idea of my savings is to never touch it until I'm doing like a lump sum payment or significant payment towards paying off my bills or whatnot. So I really need to get these credit cards paid off before I even look at purchasing a piece of property. For one, I want my credit score to be as high as possible. I need a better interest rate. Right now, interest rates are terrible. I wish the Fed would come off their high horse and fix that. Everything's starting to come down. Everything's starting to normalize. All these other countries, they're already dropping their interest rates. So, and they're doing well. And we're sat here struggling. I mean, the thing is, like, I do those check the loan kind of thing, and just playing with the interest rates and seeing, my God, if I dropped the interest rate 1%, my monthly payment was like almost $200 less. I mean, it's a significant amount. So the other thing I want to do is so it's not a must, but I want to try and have like a third of a down payment for a house or a piece of property. If it comes to property, a lot of banks won't loan money for just a raw land. So I'm gonna have to come up with a significant amount of money to purchase a piece of property. So that's my ultimate goal, is to, if I end up staying here, renting a room for a while, and I have a piece of property I can work, and by work I mean really plant a garden and have a garden space. I'm not so worried necessarily, if I do this, I'm not so worried about a place to live there, right? I want to use this to get my food, better health. At least if I grow my own food, I know where it's coming from. If I know if I know it's healthy food, then great. Fantastic. So that's what I want to do. Is if I end up getting a piece of property, it's probably just going to be for farm use or agricultural use or whatever however you want to look at it. Because it is expensive to build a house. And yes, I could probably do 80% or more of the work myself. The issue is I'm getting older. I don't have that strength like I used to have. I'm not a wimp or weak by any means, but as you get older, it's just the facts of life. So yeah, I could do a lot of it. I could do quite a bit. I could, be my own contractor. I don't really want to do that. I think the thing I'd like to do is probably find a house on an acre of land and fool around with that, and then at least I get a good start. And then by the time I go to retire, which I don't plan to retire until I'm about 70, but by the time I go to retire, have a lot of the skills that I need, and then look, meanwhile, putting money away, look for a bigger piece of land or a small farm or something, and then really, really, really push the homesteading thing. I know people say this is just a garden, but that's where homesteading starts. Homesteading starts with just a garden. So I encourage you guys, even if you live in the city, put a pot out, put some tomatoes in there, start your own little tomato garden. Beans, God, beans will grow pretty much anywhere. They're kind of like weeds. Put some beans in. So my encouragement is for you guys, like, even as I get, right now I'm $24,000 in debt. It can be done. You can get rid of it. There are ways to save. There are ways to put money away. And yeah, I'm a little stressed about it, but you know what? It's things are coming down. So just wanted to talk a little bit about that and let you guys know. I do have some stuff going on health wise. So again, working on that. And then I do have financial issues right now. And again, we're working on that. So I'm trying to bring you guys along from start to finish. Most people who do homestead videos or homesteading, like, they skip that first part when they do the video part, because they've already had the land, they've already, and then said, oh wait, why don't I do this, right? So I want to give you guys a view of a guy who's been in significant debt, restarting life after a divorce, after all this. And I want to show you that it can be done. I want to prove people wrong. I want to show people that this can be done. So future videos will not just be the garden. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you along with my health journey as well. So I will be doing some hikes. There's a park over here that has a forest in it that has hiking trails. It's a national forest or state forest, I believe. So I'll take you on some hiking stuff. I also have a project in mind that we'll talk about maybe next week for my granddaughter. If you're looking to see pictures of my granddaughter, don't. My daughter does not want her exposed to social media. So we'll talk about her, but she doesn't want her out there on social media, and I can understand that, especially in today's society. So I do have a granddaughter, and I do have a married daughter, and I have a son who's not married, but he's working in Florida and, getting his life started. So we'll talk a little bit more about possible projects, upcoming projects, but I will be taking you along on some of my hikes and stuff so we can see what's around here. And eventually we'll talk about properties, prices, and things like that, what I'm dealing with, where the cost of everything. I want to do a sit down where I'm in my studio or basically in my room and talk about pricing and whatnot. So we'll get into that in another video. Guys, I hope everybody has a fantastic week. I'll give you one more look at the garden so we close this out. But as you can see again, cucumbers doing great, tomatoes are doing great. Beans are doing pretty good here, not so good here. We're going to try and figure that out. And the squash is going good, but I think we're going to need to do some soil amendment there as well. And the corn, well, one or two of them are doing pretty good, and hopefully the others will come up without the squirrels. So till next week, guys, I hope everybody has a fantastic week, and we'll talk some more. Well, I'll do my short on Wednesday, and then if I do something later in the week, I'll be sure to film it and post a video. Thanks again, guys. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button and like. I do have quite a few return people that are not subscribed to the channel. Help me out, folks. Hit those subscribe button, hit the bell button so you know when things are posted. I appreciate all you watching, and thank you for being you and being here with me on my journey.